What's going on, Tan and J Man Show Nation? It is Monday night. It's July 28th, 2025, the last July episode of the Tan and J Man Show for 2025, episode 454. For those of you at home keeping track, which is none of you, I don't know why I say this all the time, but we're just going with it. I'm Tanner Lee, and if you're watching live on the ISC Sports Network, on their Twitch channel, on their Twitter channel, on their YouTube, or the Tan and J Man Show Facebook page or YouTube channel. Hit that follow button, that subscribe button, that like button if you haven't already on all those channels, by the way. You can see that Josh the J Man Mutt is not my co-host tonight. It is once again my father, Arik Lee. Dad, I'm going to have to start putting you on the payroll, I think.
Yes, I should be on the payroll.
If there was such thing.
Yeah.
So, but thanks again for filling in. We're going to have fun. And, unless something else comes up, I think this will be the last time you co-host before football season officially gets underway here in a handful of weeks. So we'll be talking a lot of football tonight and picking your brain on the upcoming college football season and the NFL season. So with that all in mind, I brought a birdie or bogey trivia question with me tonight.
If I get it, I go ahead of you for the year, don't I?
Well, yeah.
You haven't gotten a lot of questions correct.
Correct. I've got 0 birdies on the year. Thank you for that reminder. But if you get it correct, it does not go towards the J-Man's total, though. I'm not going to allow that. But
and I did birdie the last show.
So you're already ahead of me.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. Unless you bogeyed at some other appearance this year. But you'd still be ahead of me then because I'm like 10 over par, I think.
Just like real golf.
No, okay. We can stop that now. But I looked up a list of the top 25 active NFL players who have played the most games. 4 of them are quarterbacks. So can you tell me what 4 quarterbacks are on the top 25 list of current active players who have played in the most NFL games?
Well, actually played or dressed?
It says games played.
Okay.
It says GP, so I'm going to take it for what it says.
Okay. Because I was thinking of a guy who's been around forever that hardly ever plays, so that's why I was kind of curious.
Yep. I'm just taking for what the website's telling me, but it could mean games dressed. I don't know. But it says GP, so I'm assuming that means actively played in the game. So,
okay.
Yep. But the birdie or bogey segment is brought to you by, like it has been every week in 2025, the Arlington Public House. Arlington Public House has upscale cuisine and cocktails with a casual atmosphere, located on 703 Main Street in Rochester, Indiana. And looking on their Facebook page, they had, if you're a barbecue fan, you would have really liked their weekend special. They had sticky ribs, along with fried cheddar grits, jalapeno corn relish. Sounds pretty good. You got a little smoky, a little spicy, a little creamy.
Yeah.
Yes. So
they do some good stuff in there.
Yes, they do. And it was only available on Friday and Saturday. Not saying they won't bring it back for a future weekend special. But if your mouth is watering for something from Arlington Public House during the week, they have ramen night every Wednesday night. And they also have Taco Thursday every Thursday. You can get tacos or a burrito bowl. Both are on special the night of. And if you're looking for somewhere to celebrate a happy hour, they got happy hour going on Tuesday through Saturdays from 4 to 5 p.m. Half off all appetizers and $3 off adult beverages during happy hour. So go up on Main. Go up. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, not too bad.
Not too bad. So stop on in. Located, like I said, at 703 Main Street in Rochester, Indiana, and you can't go wrong with anything you select to eat or drink from our friends at the Arlington Public House. All right, Dad, we are, we've said it quite often when you've been on this summer. It's kind of the dog days of summer, but it feels like they're starting to come to an end because baseball season's heating up. We got the trade deadline coming up here shortly, and we can definitely kind of start shifting on the pretenders and contenders for sure right now, and who's in the playoff picture, who's already out of the playoff picture, who's going to solidly be in there. But we also have NFL training camps are underway, got underway last week, and most teams around the collegiate world, I think all of them actually will get their camps going underway by the end of this week. So, and then high schools around the country will start kicking off here in the next 2 to 3 weeks, I believe. So
it's would be pretty warm to put the pads on today, wouldn't it?
It would, but I'm sure there's some schools already practicing. I know one of the schools up here by me, I was driving past their school yesterday, and I saw on their outside exterior sign that they start school August 6th, which is next week.
Yeah, so, it's time.
Yep, it's time. But with all that said, what do you want to start off with tonight? What topic? I know we have baseball we can cover, we got football we can cover, we got golf we can cover.
You know what? It's the Tan and J Man show. So
I'm leaving it up to the guest. I can go any route.
Well, we can start with baseball. I don't have a great deal on it. As you know, I'm a Cubs fan, but not to the extent that the J-Man is. But
Not many are.
They have a big 3-game series coming up with the Brewers, who are the hottest team in baseball over the last 2 months, I guess. And we'll see. I don't know if the Cubs can hold on or not, but they are tied going into tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Cubs did get to take advantage of the Chicago White Sox once again this year. I think they went 5-1 in that crosstown series and 6-0 last year. So they've done pretty well against the Southsiders, who are better this year. They've won some games, but they're still probably the second worst team in baseball. So
I think they're still easily the second worst team in baseball.
Yeah. Yeah, they had a horrendous fielding moment yesterday late in the game and allowed the Cubs to win. So I was glad to see it.
Well, over the last 3 years, the Cubs are 12-2 against the White Sox.
Is that right? I was thinking it was 11-1, but
12-2 over the last 3 seasons.
Okay. Yeah,
I got it on my phone here. Graphic that. The only reason I know that, Josh sent it to one of our friends who's a White Sox fan.
Yeah.
Actually, 2 of our friends who are White Sox fans. So, 2 of
them. If both of them would, want to attend a game, they might double their attendance level.
One of them goes to a handful of games, and he actually is a newer White Sox fan. Didn't even become a White Sox fan until, I don't know, within the last 4 or 5 years. So he loves pain and misery, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that my lifetime, which now has reached over 60 years, the Cubs and White Sox combined have the same amount of World Series titles as the Miami Marlins.
Yeah. Who I don't know if you caught any of Ichiro Suzuki's Hall of Fame speech.
Yeah,
he said it was pretty funny. He said when they called him in 2015 about signing, he had never heard of them.
Yeah, well, he may have been alluding to he had heard of the Florida Marlins, not the.
But I'm assuming that's what he was going for. But still, being in Seattle for all those years, they probably barely played the Marlins.
Yeah. Well, Sean Shriver just sent us a note that the Marlins have crept back into wild card contention.
They are 50-54. They're 11 games out of the NL East, but they are alive for the wild card.
Well, yeah, I guess. You have to use the word alive somehow loosely there.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but looking at the standings right now in the American League East, the Blue Jays would be the division winner if the season ended today. They have a 5.5 game lead over the New York Yankees. The Blue Jays have been hot with a record of 63-43. The Yankees are at 57-48. Of course, their biggest headline in the news this past week was the health of Aaron Judge, who luckily didn't tear anything in his elbow, so he's not going to need Tommy John. But we'll see how long he ends up being out for, which is too bad for the Yankees and just baseball as a whole, because baseball is better when Aaron Judge is playing.
Yeah, no question. Even if you're a Yankees hater, Aaron Judge is one of those guys that draws eyeballs.
Yep.
There's probably only 4 or 5 guys that absolutely drive ratings, and he's definitely one of them.
I don't even know if there's that many.
Yeah, Otani and him, and I guess everybody has their specific athletes. I always follow Mike Trout's statistics, but he's not the player he was 5 years ago due to injuries. But
Cal Raleigh could become one if he keeps on this pace.
he definitely could. I would say Bryce Harper to an extent, not to the level of the first 2 we mentioned, but and there's pitchers. Paul Skeens, if you're a baseball guy, you gotta check out when he throws. And this new kid from Milwaukee is supposed to be pretty good, but there's not the it used to be 10 or 12 guys that kind of ran baseball, but right now it's kind of Judge and Otani.
I do wish we could get the J-Man's thoughts on this. I'm just seeing this on ESPN.com. The Cubs reached a multi-year extension with President of Baseball Operations Jed Hoyer.
I saw that. I thought of Josh right away when I saw that.
I would like to get his thoughts on that. So, because I think it's pretty safe bet the Cubs are going to make the playoffs this year. But he's been pretty critical of good old Jed over the years.
Yeah,
as have a lot of Cub fans.
Well, and rightfully so. I mean, but you could be right. He's not the most popular figure in the Chicagoland area, but
right.
They are competitive this year. And, one other guy, I guess if you're a Cub fan, Pete Crow Armstrong's kind of must-watch TV, but maybe the shortstop for the Reds, but there's not too many.
Yeah, Ellie De La Cruz.
Yeah.
Yep. Red Sox, going back to American League East, Red Sox are 6.5 games behind the Blue Jays. Rays 10 games behind. Then the Orioles 15.5. All of a sudden, the Orioles are creeping up on the Rays in that division. The Orioles kind of got hot here lately.
Yeah.
It's not going to matter, but.
Yeah. Yeah, they look like the team to beat at the beginning of the year, along with the Yankees, and had a real disappointing year.
I mean, the Blue Jays have the best record in the AL now. They've surpassed the Tigers.
They might have the best record in baseball.
Yeah.
Pretty
let's see
close.
Here. Yes, they have one more win over the Cubs and the Brewers, so technically they do.
Right? Yeah. And Sean sent another note that Skubal for the Tigers might be the best pitcher in baseball, so I guess he's another must-watch.
I would take his word for it.
Yeah.
So, and the Tigers are winning the Central. The Guardians 8 back, Royals 8.5 back, Twins 10 back, White Sox 22.5 back. American League West, interesting division here. The Astros have a 4-game lead over both the Mariners and the Rangers. Rangers playing better baseball as of late. The Angels are 9 games back. The A's are 15 games back. So much for my bold prediction of the A's getting in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, it's pretty bold.
Yeah, well, hey, got to go bold sometimes.
Got to go bold.
National League East, the Mets are winning the East by a game and a half over the Phillies. Marlins 11 games behind. Braves 17. Nationals 18.5. We already discussed the Cubs and Brewers are deadlocked as of right now for the NL Central. The Reds are 6.5 games back. Cardinals 9. Pirates 18.5. And in the National League West, the Dodgers feels like are starting to pull away a little bit. They're 4 games ahead of the Padres, 7 games ahead of the Giants, 10 games ahead of the Diamondbacks, and 33.5 games ahead of the Rockies, who are playing a lot better baseball since the All-Star break.
Yeah. I speaking of baseball, I did see where Mike Trout got his 1,000th RBI. He's been primarily a lot of years a leadoff guy. I mean, the RBI is a statistic when I was growing up, but it was probably one of the more important statistics in baseball now. It seems that OPS and WAR and all that stuff. But can you name me the leading RBI producer career that is still active?
Give me a moment to think about this.
Yeah,
I'm going to go with Bryce Harper.
No, he's above Mike Trout, but it's not him. The top 3 arguably will have a hard time getting to the Hall of Fame. It's the leading active RBI leader is Freddie Freeman.
Mm.
Second is Paul Goldschmidt.
Mm.
And third is Arenado, third baseman for the Cardinals.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. All three make sense. Did
all
not
three
come on
great
my radar.
players. Maybe the Hall of Very Good, but I'm not sure they're Hall of Fame levels. But I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, sure was. When it comes to the Baseball Hall of Fame, I feel like, I used to sit down and watch when the guys got inducted, and I felt like that was kind of appointment television. Now, I only see the highlights. I don't take time to watch it. And Ichiro was a superstar of my childhood growing up. I mean, he came on the scene in 2001 when I was in fourth grade and played clear till just a handful of years ago. So a lot of guys that I grew up watching, Derek Jeter a few years ago, they're starting to get in the Hall of Fame, starting to get into the Hall of Fame, but it's still just, I don't know if it's just because, in my opinion, the Hall of Fame's become a little watered down recently, or what it is. It just doesn't pique my interest like it used to.
Yeah, well, Suzuki's an all-time great.
Right.
CC Sabathia, probably deserved it, I guess, in today's world. It would be hard for pitchers to get 250 wins like he's got.
I think he was deserving, but I was kind of trying to gauge your interest. Like, what's your interest nowadays when it comes to the Hall of Fame and in the day of when they get in? I mean, were you ever one to sit down and watch the inductions?
I never was. I probably watch football more than baseball, but I will. I did sneak it on the MLB network and saw a few words from each one of them. Not during the presentation itself, but later on.
Okay.
So, one of my first all-time favorite players was Dick Allen, who just got in. He was one of the most feared hitters in the early 70s in baseball. I remember him as a White Sox. A lot of his early damage was his name Richie Allen when he was on the Philadelphia Phillies. But he was always on losing teams. He was really good. He used to wag his bat like you wouldn't believe when he was up there.
As bad as Gary Sheffield?
Yeah, he was a lot like Sheffield.
All right.
Back when Dick Allen was playing, 35 homers might lead the league.
All right.
It was a different. Nowadays you got to get in the 50s. I think I froze up.
Yes, I am. It looks like I'm having some Wi-Fi difficulties, so I apologize to everybody out there. My screen paused for a little bit and started getting nervous because I'm like, if Josh is on, I'm not nervous. He knows how to run things, but Dad, maybe not so much.
I could belt some show tunes if need be.
Well, I might have to. If that happens again, I might have to text you and say I'm going to bounce out and bounce back in. But hopefully that's not the case. I thought it was you for a second because you paused and then I got the Wi-Fi error message on my end. So, any other baseball talk before we move on?
No, I don't really have much on that.
Okay. All right. Well, speaking of baseball, we have some baseball on this day today. Let's see here. Well, I'm sure we will. I'm not starting off with a baseball fact though, but on this day, 1929, the NFL's Chicago Cardinals became the first NFL team to train outside of their home state. They held training camp in Michigan.
Okay. Makes sense.
On this day in 1933, the NFL divided into two 5-team divisions. Let's see here. We're struggling here. On this day in 1984, the 23rd modern Olympic Games opened up in Los Angeles. You remember watching those?
I do. We wouldn't let Russia come. 1980, it was in Moscow, and President Carter at the time boycotted, had the American athletes boycott that particular Olympics. So, that's a shame that looking back at it, all the people that had trained their whole lives. And then 1984, a lot of the Eastern Bloc countries were not allowed in. Different time of the year. Well, I guess we have some of the same problems today, but it's always too bad when somebody can't compete in the Olympics.
Yeah, it's too bad that politics get in the way of the Olympics from time to time.
Always has, always will.
Yep. Father's Day 1989, Braves' Dale Murphy hit 2 3-run home runs in an inning, becoming the 14th man to hit 2 home runs in an inning and tied the record of 6 RBIs in an inning.
Yeah, that's a pretty good inning.
On this day, 1991, Dennis Martinez pitched the 13th perfect game in baseball history.
I think he was on the Montreal Expos at the time, maybe.
Okay, his picture on the website, his headshot's on the Orioles, but that doesn't necessarily mean he was on the Orioles at the time.
He did pitch for the Orioles, but I was thinking he did it for the Expos. I could be wrong.
Okay. I'm going to take your word for it. On this day in 1992, the groundbreaking of the Florida Marlins 7,500-seat spring training stadium began. We were talking about the Marlins earlier, so I thought I'd throw that in there.
Sure.
On this day, 1994, baseball players decided to strike on August 12th, 1994.
And I do remember that.
And also on this day, 1994, Texas Rangers pitcher Kenny Rogers threw the only perfect game in franchise history against the California Angels.
Okay.
On this day in 1995, Art Modell's rep began secret talks to move the NFL team, the Cleveland Browns, to Baltimore.
Yeah.
He's not very well liked to this day in the city of Cleveland.
No. He never
Rightfully
had those
so.
Browns in the Super Bowl, and they've never been in the Super Bowl. Well, the Ravens have made it a few times, but the city of Cleveland is still looking for an appearance.
On this day in 1996, New York Yankee Darryl Strawberry hit his 300th career home run.
Okay.
On this day in 1997, New York Rangers center Mark Messier signed with what team for $20 million over 3 years?
He was on the Rangers before that, you mean?
Yes, and he signed a 3-year, $20 million contract with this team as his final stop.
Did he go back to Edmonton?
Close. Vancouver Canucks.
Okay.
I honestly thought he ended his career as a Ranger, so that's news to me.
And I am right. Martinez's perfect game was with Montreal.
Well, speaking of Martinez, on this day in 2015, Pedro Martinez, jersey number 45, was retired by the Boston Red Sox.
Yep, deservedly so.
My least favorite baseball player of all time. A lot of senior British Open trivia. Yeah. I'm not going to ask you any of that. That's not as good as the regular. So, and we got some Olympic stuff in 2021, but nothing that I think it's all swimming and non-USA team related swimming. So I'm not going to ask you that either. So I'm going to wrap this one up for this week for On This Day. And the On This Day segment is brought to you by, like as every week, Mooney Wood Laser Crafts. Mooney Wood Laser Crafts is a veteran-owned and operated woodcraft shop based out of Texas with Indiana grassroots. They provide 100% hand-cut custom designs that fit your needs, and their pieces are a great addition to any home, office, or man cave. You can see some of their recently completed projects by visiting them at Mooney Wood Laser Crafts on Instagram and on Facebook. And if you let them know the Tan and J-Man Show sent you, you get 15% off your first sign order or any order now that they're doing laser work. Thad sent me some designs last night. He's been working on some tumblers for a couple of clients, and he's got that laser working. He's doing some impressive stuff. So if you want anything laser engraved or any engraving on any wood for a sign or anything, growth chart, anything like that, hit that up. And he'll take care of you and let him know the Tan and J-Man Show sent you, so you get 15% off.
Okay.
Well, I want to get into some golf talk, but before we do, Happy Gilmore 2 came out worldwide on Netflix on Friday. my wife and I watched it Friday night when it came out. I believe you and Mom watched it over the weekend, correct?
We did. We did.
What was your take on Happy Gilmore 2? A thumbs up, thumbs down for you? Thumb in the middle?
More up than down, just because it's you knew what you're getting. It's a little slapstick. It's some crazy stuff, and Adam Sandler seems like a pretty good guy. He had a lot of performers on there, through the golf world or the entertainment world. Must be well liked. I mean, Eminem was on.
Yeah. Bad Bunny was his caddy. Bad Bunny's up there with Taylor Swift for probably the most popular music artist in the world right now.
I had no idea that was Bad Bunny till after.
That was Bad Bunny. Yeah, he did a really good job. He had a big role in this movie. Like, I knew he was in it going in. Had no idea he was going to play that big a role in the movie.
Yeah. And they, obviously had Scotty and Rory and Brooks Koepka and DeChambeau and Xander. They made sure, probably eight or nine of the most popular 10 golfers were somehow in it. Nelly Corda, some old Nancy Lopez.
I mean, my guy Ricky Fowler might have been the worst player to have any line in the movie. He had 3 different lines.
Yeah, he did.
Or Will Zalatoris, but Zalatoris had a little bigger role in the movie, which was a hilarious callback because Zalatoris has got made fun of for looking like Happy's caddy or Happy's original caddy on the first one for a long time. So to tie that in was I thought really good.
And they gave Scheffler some pretty good lines, about not again,
Oh, that was great. That was great. Yeah. And John Daly, a pretty big role in the movie.
Yeah, he did. He was on probably more than Julie Bowen was on. So yeah, it was what I expected. Usually the second coming or the remake of or part 2, so to speak, of a movie's usually
sequel.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, when we talk about sequels, and we could go down a rabbit hole and talk about non-sports sequels, but when you talk about sports sequels, at least the first franchise that comes to my mind is Rocky, because there's so many of them. And of course, Rocky 3 has been on, I think, a lot of people's minds lately with the passing of Hulk Hogan on Thursday at the age of 71, and he was Thunderlips in Rocky 3. But what, in your opinion, what is the best sports sequel to a sports movie?
Well, I can't think of a lot. Major League had a sequel.
2 and 3, yeah. Caddyshack 2 was horrendous.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, at least Happy Gilmore 2 was probably a little closer to being decent than Caddyshack 2. You couldn't really have a sequel to Field of Dreams or Remember the Titans or some of the great sports Hoosiers. But I guess probably one of the Rocky movies, maybe Rocky 3.
Yeah, Rocky 3 is a pretty good one.
But the original Rocky, I think if they wouldn't have had 4 more of them, would have been remembered as an all-time classic.
It still is.
Yeah, I know, but sometimes when you keep going down the same well, you don't have quite the appreciation. But that's probably where I would lean.
What's your? I know we are going down a little bit of rabbit hole here, but what is your favorite sports movie of all time?
I really like Chariots of Fire. Most people don't. It was an Academy Award winner. It was about a true story about 2 different track runners for England in the 1924 Olympics. Just as a basketball fan, I did enjoy Hoosiers, which is loosely based on a true story. There's different types. There's been so many good sports movies, and there's been so many bad ones. I haven't seen some of the all-time great boxing movies. The one with Jake LaMotta and Raging Bull, supposedly a top 20 film. I've never seen it. I haven't even seen $1 Million Baby, so I don't know if I'm really qualified for some of it, but I even get a kick out of some slapstick ones like The Replacements. When that comes on TV, I'll usually turn it on. So, but I would say the first couple I mentioned, Chariots of Fire and Hoosiers.
I got to go with Remember the Titans. Remember the Titans is not only my favorite sports movie, it's my favorite movie.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's one I have to, if it's on TV, I'm stopping, I'm watching it, especially around football season. So
great music background in a lot of that film too.
So I think football is the sport that has the best. Maybe no, I take it back. Baseball. Baseball's got the best collection, but football's pretty close. In
Yeah,
my
Field of
opinion.
Dreams was a classic. Bull Durham had its moments.
Moneyball, pretty darn good for a newer one.
Yeah, you're right. I had forgot about that. But,
yep. Underrated one's League of Their Own. I think that's an underrated sports movie that doesn't get enough praise.
Yeah. Tom Hanks, manager.
Yep. So yeah. All right.
Got a comment from Sean that Burt Reynolds is longest yard.
I gotta admit, I haven't seen the original. I've seen Burt Reynolds in the remake with Adam Sandler, which I enjoyed.
The original was better, but yeah.
I know if J-Man was on here, he said Coach Carter. That's one of his favorites.
Oh, I've never seen that one. I saw the
basketball movie with Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
So, Glory Road is another one J-Man likes a lot. So
yeah, a lot of good sports movies.
Miracle's a good one.
Yeah, a lot of them are based on true, or at least based on true things that's happened.
Yep. But last thing I want to mention as far as movies, but in regards to Happy Gilmore too, and I'm not going to say it because for one, I don't want to ruin it for anybody, and two, the FCC would come after me since it's got cursing in the line. But I thought Vern Lundquist had the funniest line in the movie.
Yeah,
I mean, I popped and laughed out loud.
That was pretty unexpected.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah.
Good old Vern.
He's probably 90 now,
Yep. So, all right. Well, let's talk about actual golf going on in the world with PGA Tour and even Live Golf, which some of the pros of Happy Gilmore too, I felt like was trying to hit on a little bit of PGA Tour versus Live a little bit, but I mean in a very out there type of way.
Yeah.
But what's piquing your interest right now? I know we got the Wyndham tournament coming up on the PGA Tour, which is the last regular season event before the FedEx Cup playoffs start. And Live, we got a couple more tournaments. Got one coming to Indiana here in a couple weeks, the 15th through the 17th of August. And speaking of Live, Joaquin Niemann, 5th win of the season. Pretty impressive what he's doing.
He's a top 10 to 15 player in the world. It's just too bad for him that when he has an opportunity to show the world, outside the Live arena, he has not been very good. I think he was maybe top 15 at one of them, but I think he missed the cut 3 times. You only get your chance 4 times a year to, and this is the first year in the last 3 a Live player has not won a major. So, I'm sure deep down the PGA guys are just smiling about that. They had some chances. DeChambeau and Rahm in the PGA, it looked like in that back 9, and then Carlos Ortiz and Tyrell Hatton in the U.S. Open. British Open, not so much. A couple backdoor top 10s at Hatton and DeChambeau, but they weren't. Nobody really was seriously in it except for Scotty. So, the Wyndham, that's interesting because this year they changed the FedEx playoffs where the top 70. It used to be at one time it was 125, and then they drop it, and then they drop. That is a 4-week deal. They've done it now to 3 weeks. I think they go some 70 to 50 to 30, I believe.
Do you like that or no?
I do. The one thing I'm a little bit. If you get in the top 50, you automatically get in these 8 designated events next year, which 4 or 5 of them don't have cuts.
Mm-hmm.
So once you're in the top 50, unless you play horrible, you're probably going to stay in it for at least another year. Doesn't give a lot of room for a lot of these 24 to 27-year-old kids that just coming in, they don't get those special tournaments to make the big points and the big money. I I think if you go between 70 and 100, the top 100 automatically come back next year as at least PGA Tour member. I think it counts after this week. The fall season is included in that. If you're between 70 and 100, if you're in the top 70, you're there to stay. Top 50, then you get all the
Right.
big events next year too.
I guess I don't mind it because you're rewarding players for really good play. And I get what you're saying about like the young guns, 24 to 27-year-olds coming in, not getting the same opportunities. But also on the PGA Tour side, you got to do something to keep some of these older players happy, or these players that have had a lot of success, because Live Golf's still willing to throw money out there and try to entice some of the guys to come over.
I'm sure. And then they have what do they call it, the PIP, or at the end of the year or whatever, where popular guys make even more money.
Yeah.
So what the Live really did is really increase the purses and stuff for the PGA.
Yeah.
You know, these invitationals they have are 72 players playing 72 holes, much like the Live player, 54 players playing 54 holes without a cut.
Right.
One of the great things that Live does do is if you get tickets, like, and you and I are going to a round, and I've taken you to rounds before into PGA where Ricky Fowler didn't make the cut. So, you know,
hey, I've only been to one tournament that he was in that he didn't make the cut.
Well,
that was last year.
But if you're going to a Live event, you're guaranteed to see your guy,
right?
No matter what day.
Just true. Or your team, if you like a team.
Yeah, and that's where that team competition comes in handy, because it gives them a reason to keep trying on Sunday, even if you're 15 strokes behind.
Yeah.
Knowing you're going to get paid a minimum of 120 grand for being last. But
and then Ryder Cup will be interesting to see how many Live guys besides Bryson, if any, get on the team.
I think there'll be 3. I think 2 European, Rahm and Hatton.
Sure.
And then DeChambeau, because I think they'd have loved to take Koepka, but he missed 3 out of 4 cuts. They didn't want Patrick Reed, so they're probably happy he didn't make the cut. And I can't think of any other Americans they would even consider.
Not Dustin at this point.
No,
not Phil. Even though Phil's played okay this year, no way they would do that.
You had the next best American is probably Taylor Gooch, and as far as current form, and he doesn't draw a name, you know. So
will Sergio get a look? But
he might get
all right this year.
He might get a peek. What's interesting is I saw where Spain is hosting the Ryder Cup in 2031. Be ideal for Sergio to be a captain, but he'd have to get into good graces again. I know his buddy is Luke Donald, the European coach, but no, I can't see him making. I just think those 3 are pretty much locks, and the rest of them, I doubt it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. And
Ryder Cup's interesting. I mean, you got this young Gotterup kid for the United States. He's got to make it now. Last 3 weeks, he's went from an unknown to probably a top 5 American in 3 weeks. You know, so some of the strong American players, though, Xander, Patrick Cantley, Jordan Spieth, they've won the same amount of tournaments this year as I have, 0. So we'll see how deep they go into the old, quote unquote, you know, established guys, or are they going to go more for the Ben Martins and the some of these guys, you know, Goddard. So yeah, Ryder Cup's always one of the better sporting events of the year.
Last golf note I want to bring up. I don't know if you saw this today, Dad, or not. I think it's pretty cool, and it's fitting with what we talk about sometimes on this podcast. But Charlie Woods, son of Tiger Woods, is in the field of the junior PGAs which begins tomorrow. It's at Purdue University's camping course.
Yeah. I saw on the Purdue board that supposedly Tiger's jet came into the Purdue airport a little bit ago. Who knows if that's true or not? But
well, one guy was saying now that they're not letting outside spectators coming in to watch because Tiger's going to be there. Who knows if that's true too?
Yeah. Oh, one other golf note. they were really playing this up at the PGA event yesterday in Minnesota, that there have been 999 guys that have won a PGA golf event. Some of them have won over 80, like Tiger and Sam Snead, or Jack at 71. But I ran into Chris Smith today, and I said, "Did you know you're one of 999 guys ever to win a PGA event?" And it kind of startled him because he thought it'd be a much higher number.
That's
I
pretty
said,
cool.
"You're in the top 999. I'm tied at number 1,000 with a lot of people." He promptly shot 65 yesterday and blew away our tournament at the Round Barn.
Well, that technically ties the course record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was glad to see him finally bear down and work on one.
Good for him. I'll have to send him a congratulatory text message here after the show. But I am looking up right here. Play begins tomorrow in this PGA event for the juniors. It says admission is free.
Yeah.
So I guess there'll be golf shuttles from the Ross 8 parking lot. So yeah, if it's free and it is open to the public, if you're down around the area and don't have anything to do, go check out Charlie Woods, because I think the kid's going to be something. He's got the biggest shoes to fill probably of any kid, maybe other than Marcus and Jeffrey Jordan did. Yeah. But and I love to bring Jeffrey Jordan up on this podcast anytime I can. But I think Charlie's going to be a good one. I mean, he's not going to be at the level of his dad, but I think he's going to be just fine.
Yeah, and there's probably half a dozen or more of these kids that will someday be playing on TV in 10 years. So,
well, the guys he's paired with are one's a Vanderbilt commit and one's a Florida commit.
Yeah.
So
they play pretty good golf down in the South.
Yep. And playing a group ahead of them is the second ranked junior in the country. So there's a lot of good players out there. So interesting if you're a fan of golf. So
yeah.
All right. Let's kick it on gear here for the rest of the show and talk about football. Do you want to talk NFL or college first?
NFL.
All right. Well, training camps have begun. Of course, as a diehard fan of an NFL team like I am of the Denver Broncos, I just always hope training camp goes by with little to no injury news. Of course, that's always wishful thinking. Broncos already had a linebacker go down. It looks like he's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks, which is better than initially feared. And Drew Sanders, who hurt himself last year in training camp and wasn't available until the end of the year last year. So, but also another thing that's always newsworthy is quarterback battles. And it looks like we have 4 different battles in the league going on right now. And ESPN's predicting each of these battles, and I want to get your take on each of these battles. Starting with the Cleveland Browns. Your candidates are Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and Shadir Sanders, because Deshaun Watson, the guy they're paying the most money, is out for the season yet again. Who do you think will be the week 1 starter out of those 4 guys?
If I had to guess, I think Joe Flacco will be week 1. Cleveland starts out, if I remember, with just a murderous first few games, and they'll probably let him take a little bit of a beating, get his feet wet. And I actually think probably Shadur will be the second guy to come in. Didn't Kenny Pickett suffer some minor injury? Hamstring, I believe.
Well, if he did, that's news to me. He could have. This article on ESPN was written this morning, and they predict that Pickett will be the week 1 starter.
Okay. I thought I saw that just today.
He does have a hamstring.
Yeah.
But they still think, man, if he's the week 1 starter, I think that means Joe Flacco's probably done.
Yeah, I don't know why they even signed him.
Well, and I still don't know why they drafted both Gabriel and Sanders, to be honest.
Yeah. I did hear on ESPN this morning, the guys were saying, well, Sanders is easily a first-round talent. I'm not sure. I've seen a lot of people with much more baggage on their plate than he did that people ignored and went ahead and drafted. So I have no idea why he fell so much. He did hold on to the ball a lot in college, and got sacked a lot like Caleb Williams did last year with the Bears.
Yep.
So I don't know. Dylan Gabriel's one of the all-time leading passers in NCAA football history, but he doesn't have size. It'll be interesting, but I think Sanders will get some starts sometime this year. I feel sorry for Kenny Pickett if he is a starter week 1 because their fan base is not going to want that. They're going to want one of these 2 young kids, and they're not going to be very patient. Oh, Kenny's going to probably start out, if he does start out, 0-3, 0-4. Boo Birds will be big in Cleveland.
Yep. Indianapolis Colts. Who do you think? Anthony Richardson Sr., as he's going by now, change his name, or Daniel Jones?
I think they start out with Anthony Richardson. And
that's what ESPN thinks, even though they said it looks like it could be Jones as of now. They think Richardson will ultimately look better in camp because that's where he thrives.
Yeah.
And he'll be the week 1 starter against the Dolphins.
Yeah. He'll make 2 or 3 splash plays a game. He has to, in basketball terms, he has to hit the layups, as they say. And these 3-yard down and outs and stuff. And can't miss those and make it 2nd and 10 when you can hit it and, have 2nd and 5. So, yeah. He's got a lot of talent, but there's been a lot of talented guys that never made it.
Well, I think it's more his health is a concern than anything at this point.
He's got to get out of his own way too. Last year coming off because he was tired,
Yeah, I forgot about that. That was a bad look.
Yeah, no quarterback's ever done that. So
even if you're exhausted, you don't tell the media that.
You call timeout like you didn't get the play in or something and walk over. You can't be doing that.
Nope. The New Orleans Saints candidates Tyler Sowell, Spencer Rattler, or Jake Haener. Not really a who's who list.
My gosh, they're going to be terrible, aren't they?
They're going to be awful. Poor Kellen Moore.
Yeah, if you're a Colorado Rocky and New Orleans Saint fan somewhere, you put your head in the sand. I think. I think Spencer Rattler will be week 1 starter.
They're going with Tyler Sowell from. He played for about 8 different teams. He played for 7 years.
He's probably older than Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, he probably is. Lastly, he played for Jeff Brom at Louisville.
Right.
Where he did throw for over 3,000 yards, 23 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. But he was coming into the draft with injuries. So that's why he probably went later than he would have if he was healthy.
Yeah, plus he's a little older.
Yeah, he turns 26 in September. So
yeah.
And when they drafted him, you got to remember Derek Carr was under contract.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's a bad situation in New Orleans.
Yep.
No wonder Tyrann Mathieu retired this week.
Well, if they stink and if Arch Manning is good for Texas, good enough to come out, maybe pretty fitting. Arch could end up in New Orleans. That'd be storyline, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you talk about an athlete who's going to be under some Arch Manning this year. I mean, they've already poor kid's had 2 college starts and they're making him out to be the number 1 pick in the NFL draft next year. We'll have to see.
And lastly, the New York Giants, the candidates Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, and Jackson Dart, who they took in the first round out of Mississippi.
Well, I think Daboll already announced last week that Wilson's his game 1 starter.
Well, that is their prediction, so okay. But that'll be interesting because you got Russell, who I don't know what he is anymore at this point. Jameis, who's a very good backup.
Yeah.
And then Jackson Dart, who you spent a first-round pick on. So.
Yeah, Daboll's got to win this year.
Yep.
I mean, he's still living off being Josh Allen's quarterback coach.
Yep.
And Josh has actually shown that he's pretty good without him too. So
yep.
We'll see.
I'm sure he wishes that they had Saquon Barkley, but they don't.
Yeah, they don't.
And I haven't done a book at prediction, so I'm gonna go with the book at prediction of the week, even though we won't know for a couple more weeks. And this is Tanner's book of prediction of the week instead of J-Man's. But I am going with, I think Daniel Jones will be the week 1 starter for the Indianapolis Colts when they line up in the first week of September against the Miami Dolphins. So probably a bit wrong, but that is my.
I've always, as you know, I always pull for Daniel Jones because I thought he got a kind of rough deal in New York. He had a couple pretty good years, but they never gave him anyone to block, and they never gave him anyone to catch.
Yeah.
Until last year.
So we'll see, but I'm going with Daniel Jones, week 1 starter against the Dolphins. And that is the J-Man's Book of Prediction of the Week, brought to you by Travis Watching Insurance Agency. Travis Watching is a multi-line agent for Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, specializing in home, auto, life, and renter's insurance. He can also do annuities and more. Contact Travis today at 219-869-4561. Did you bring a blind rankings list for me this week?
I did. I think this one's going to be a pretty difficult one for you.
Okay.
I picked out 5 athletes who I thought have had pretty darn good years in different sports.
Okay.
So I want you to rank them 1 through 5, the athlete you think has had the most dominant year. And since the years are so different, I'm going July to July.
Okay.
So that counts the football season. That counts the entire basketball season, etc. First guy I have is Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, rebound year. Great rebound year. I think I took him 4th round in my fantasy football draft, and a lot of people want to stay away from him, and I still believed he could do something good, especially go to a new landscape for him in Philadelphia, and he did just that. He was unbelievable. Now he's on the cover of the Madden NFL game coming out here in the next few weeks, and he's on the defending Super Bowl champion. So he bet on himself going to a new area, and it worked. I'm going to put him at 4. I think he got some other heavy hitters coming up.
Super Bowl champion, 2,000 yards.
Yeah. Heck of a season, but I know some others are coming up.
Ever guy. Okay.
Yep.
Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, he's much watched TV, especially now that he's pitching a little bit too. Another World Series champion for the Dodgers.
MVP.
I'm putting him at number 2.
Number 2. All right. Scotty Scheffler.
Scotty's my number 1.
He's had 2 majors, a FedEx champion, a gold medal, and about 7 or 8 other tournaments.
He's my number 1 because of, anytime you can be compared to one of Tiger Woods' historic runs, you're doing something pretty incredible. And the guy's the favorite every time he tees a golf ball up. And unlike these other athletes who have pieces around them or a team around them, golf, it's you and your caddy against elements out there, different courses, 100 plus guys, the most talented golfers in the world. So I'm going with Scotty, number 1.
So you think he maybe had the most dominant year of any athlete?
Yeah.
Okay. My 4th guy, if I mispronounce his last name, I am sorry. Alex Palou won the Indianapolis 500 and has won 8 IndyCar races this year.
Yeah, that's pretty remarkable. I knew he won the 500. Didn't know he had won 8 this year alone.
8 out of 13. He's finished first with a couple seconds.
Season's not over. When it comes, I'm going to put him 5th, and I know that's going to make a lot of racing fans mad, but I like racing. Don't get me wrong, but when it comes to racing, it's more than just you. It's your pit crew. It's the equipment you have and the team around you. The better equipment you are, I don't care. They're all talented drivers, so the better equipment you are, the better you're going to do. So,
okay, one of the more dominant years though in racing history.
Sure.
And my last guy is Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
He's number 3.
Led the league in scoring, was the MVP of the league in the finals MVP.
And probably led the league in free throw attempts. I'm not sure about that, but it felt that way.
Watching
the playoffs. No, great year for him. Like I said, deservingly so. I think if I had to re-rank it, I'm sticking with my top 2, Scotty and Shohei. But then I'm putting Saquon 3, Palou 4, and then SGA 5.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If Caitlin Clark hadn't have been hurt, I would have put her on the list. But yeah, I almost gave you the people who have changed their perception of them or have either up or down. Like Bryson DeChambeau is now really well liked, where he used not to be, and somebody like Angel Reese isn't as well liked as she was maybe 2 years ago. So
that's an interesting one.
yeah.
So that was a good list, though. And that's the blind ranking segment, which is brought to you by Performer Print 2 Promo Group. If you're looking for a trustworthy, dependable resource for your next trade show, company picnic, or sales meeting, Performer Print 2 Promo Group has over 50 years combined experience in promotional products and commercial print. They strive for fast and efficient response to all your print needs, so you look no further. Let them be your one-source print and promotional company today by giving Barbara Van Weinsberg a call at 574-210-3815. And I know we are running out of time. We only got 4 minutes left, but I want to get your thoughts on NFL and college football right now, real quick. So, as of right now, on July 28th, who is your pick to win the Super Bowl?
Buffalo Bills. I'm riding my name, Josh Allen.
All right, this is the year they get it done, huh?
My man's going to catch the ball this year.
Well, if he gets it done, I think Buffalo's building him a statue.
Yeah, well, they should. They've never won it.
I know they've been close, but never got it done. Flipping gears to college football, real quick. Big headline today: Deion Sanders held a press conference with his medical team, and it was good news. It was good news. He is. They revealed that earlier this year he was diagnosed with bladder cancer, and now he's cancer free, as he's had his bladder removed. I'm not sure any other coach around the country would have went about it that way. They probably just would have notified the media and not held a press conference with the medical team. But Deion does things a little differently than any other coach. His attire was dressed differently than any other coach. But I'm glad he's okay. I thought it was going to be a situation where we were going to see him step away due to health reasons. And then that would cause an uproar from the media for a lot of different reasons, even though it shouldn't when it involves somebody's health. So how do you think Colorado is going to be this year? I mean, they lost Deion Sanders, lost the number 2 overall pick in Travis Hunter.
I think they're probably going to be they were at 8-4 last year.
Yes.
And then lost the bowl game. I think they're going to be very similar. I think they're starting to bring in talent because of Deion. I think I actually heard today that the defensive and offensive lines have vastly improved. Now they're losing, a superstar, Heisman Trophy winner.
Yep.
Who could easily been on this list of 5 I gave you in an NFL quarterback. So they're going to, I would think they'd take step backs there, but I'll say that they're going to still be competitive.
I don't think they'll be in the headlines or the Fox Big Noon game as often as they were the last couple of years.
I agree. Yeah.
But we'll see. And I know we got to close out here soon with the birdie or bogey, but what are some things you're going to be looking forward to or keeping your eye on this college football season? And then who is your pick to win it all?
Well, I think just nationally, you're going to look and see Caleb DeBoer's obviously got a big year. Big year for him. I mean, 10-3 doesn't make it at Alabama. Brian Kelly. I mean, he's got talent galore, and he starts off against Clemson, and even Dabo's taken a few hits here lately, and they start out.
And Brian Kelly already made a statement about the real Death Valley.
Oh yeah.
So Clemson's all fired up now. Good job, Brian. He gave him more Baltimore material.
Yeah,
good job.
And he seems to lose his first game of the year.
Yep.
He went to LSU. Can Penn State finally overcome the Buckeyes?
Last year they got to the playoffs and couldn't overcome the Irish.
I know. Penn State was very close last year to be in. I've never been a big thinking that quarterback was that great, but he's projected to top 5 pick. So we'll see. If I had to pick a national champion, I think I'm going to go a little off the board and go with Clemson.
That'd be interesting, especially if DeBoer doesn't have a season Alabama likes. Dabo wins it all. Clemson could be a good time to go back home.
Is that even a big step up? I mean,
no, I don't. I'm not necessarily, but I think Clemson fans would be mad no matter what. But could you be really mad if he just brought you another national championship and then left?
Yeah. Well, and don't you think they checked out Dabo before they picked up a coach to replace Saban?
Probably. I would think
Yeah.
so. But
So he's had his chance. Maybe he didn't want to replace a legend either,
yeah,
because
yeah,
that doesn't work out too well. Ask John Wooden's replacement or Bobby Knight's replacement or
true.
some of these. So,
But a lot of the eyes of the college football world will be on the Big Ten again.
oh boy, and I gotta expect a resurgence of some sort from USC. There's just too much.
Lincoln Riley needs it. Talking about coaches on the hot seat.
And I think college football would benefit from USC. I think Notre Dame's still going to be Notre Dame again. I mean, they're
tough schedule.
Yeah, they always have 4 or 5 huge tests every year.
I mean, they open up at Miami and then host Texas A&M.
First 2 games?
Yep, first 2 games before the 18th place in the Big Ten last year. The Purdue Boilermakers run into town for the week 3.
See if they can keep it within 59 this year. So,
yep.
Yeah, that is a tough start. But
yeah.
Notre Dame can lose 2, maybe 3, and still get to the playoffs. So, because they're still going to have some games that are automatic wins too. That's what.
Well, they thought that about Northern Illinois last year, but it was a blessing in disguise losing to them, honestly. So
yeah, no doubt.
And lastly, last question before the birdie or bogey, what do you expect out of Indiana and Purdue this year for football?
I think for Purdue, my expectations aren't high. I would take a 4 or 5 win season and call it a huge success. I think they are building something for the future there. I'm happy with the coach. Indiana, it's very strange. What they did last year came as a complete surprise. The schedule was unbelievable for them, but this year I know they've got 3 or 4 tests in the Big Ten. But I expect I think the guy can coach as much as unlikable as he can be. So I'm expecting maybe 8-4 out of him.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. So, yeah, they do have tests. Illinois at home, at Oregon, at Penn State off the top of my head. So
and I know they play Iowa. That's always a tough game. I don't care where it's at. So, we'll see.
So, all right, going back to the birdie or bogey question, I looked up the top 25 active NFL players who have played in the most games. 4 of them are quarterbacks. Can you name those 4?
Well, I would think Matthew Stafford.
Matthew Stafford is the number 8. Yes, he is one. He's number 8 overall with 222 games played.
I would think Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco is on the list, number 21 overall with 196 games played.
I would think Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson is number 17th on the list with 199 games played.
The other one was really difficult. I tried to go through all the teams in my head. I'm going to go with, I don't know. Is it Jared Goff?
It is not Jared Goff.
My other one I was thinking was Geno.
Not Geno Smith either. You're going to kick yourself. I'm giving you a par. You got 3 out of 4.
It's Rodgers.
It's Aaron Rodgers, who's number 4 on the list with 248 games played.
Yeah, it did. I was going through that division. I said, Burrow, no. Jackson, no.
Yeah, and you forget that he's in Pittsburgh now.
Yeah, I forgot
Calais Campbell's played in the most games for active player, 261.
Well, it's easy to forget Aaron because they're never talking about him on TV.
Well, I would leave that for another day. But Dad, thank you for filling in for the J-Man yet again, and I'm sure we'll talk to you sometime soon, probably sometime when football season is underway.
All right, have a good time.
And join us again next week, everybody, for episode 455 of the Tan and J-Man Show. Same time, same channel, same audio podcast platform. Have a great week, everybody.